Hello, we're going to proceed with academic reading sample task. So on the left hand side we have a text which calls a motor car. On the right hand side we have a task, academic reading sample task, matching information, questions 14 to 19. Sample passage 7 has 8 paragraphs, which is here, labeled from A to H. Which paragraph contains the following information? Write the correct letter from A to H in boxes 14 to 19 on your answer sheet. You may also use any letter more than once. So we have to take into account this information. That is from question 14. A comparison of past and the present transportation methods. So here our keyword is going to be transportation methods. So I'm just going to highlight this transportation. And we have to find anything where they are just comparing past transportation methods and transportation methods which we are using nowadays. So the main key thing which when we are preparing for IELTS exam is when you have the similar task as this, we just have to read the first and second sentence. Sometimes people just advise to read first sentence and the last sentence, but it depends. But usually most of the information which are in the text supposed to be in the first two sentences. So, but anyways, if you have some time you can scan it, but it's gonna take a lot of time. So in that case it's better to be very careful and to rely on the practice and to read first two sentences and to try to find information so related to your task. So let's scan first text A and two sentences. So basically we can read these two sentences. There are now over 700 million motor vehicles in the world, and the number is rising by more than 40 million each year. So they are saying about motor vehicles, so you can just highlight it, but they don't say any comparison about transportation method. In the second one, B, where emissions from new car are more or less harmful than they used to be. City streets and the motorways are becoming more crowded than ever. So often with all the trucks, buses and the taxis, which emit excessive level of smoke and fumes. So they were saying about pollution, about emissions, just gonna highlight it, but nothing about any transportation methods. Go further to the text C. Until 100 years ago, most journeys were in the 2 to 20 kilometers range, the distance conveniently accessible by horse. So heavy freight could only be carried by water or rail. So as you can see, we have information about the time that it was until 100 years ago, and as I was saying about a journey which were accomplished by means of horses, and there was all the times as a past transportation methods. And in order to be sure if this is our answer to the question or not, just we can scan further, and as we're saying about information about motor vehicles, and further some information is related to transporting of people and goods, so about transportation. So basically this is answer to the 14th question. So here in the paragraph C, they were just comparing all transportation methods, so we can just put here C, and we can highlight it here in order to avoid confusion. But anyways, as can be written here, we can use more than once any letter, so we have to be very careful with that. You can highlight it. So we go further to question number 15. How driving habits contribute to road problems. Our main keyword is going to be problems, so anyways we know the text, and we can just scan further and try to find information about driving habits how they contribute to problems, because as you guys remember, there was no information about problems. This is a main adventure when you start from the beginning, and when you come up to following questions like 15, 16, you already know all of these texts, and you will not lose your time. You can just use it properly. So we just scan text number D. So in Europe, most cities are still designed for the old modes of transport. Adaptation to the motor car has involved adding ring roads, one-way system, and the parking lots. So they were saying about all of this modes of transport, adaptation of motor cars. So just can highlight it, but nothing about problems. So text E, a 1993 study by the European Federation for Transport and Environment found that car transport is 7 times as costly as rail travel in terms of the external social costs. It entails congestion, accidents, pollution, loss of cropland and natural habitats, depletion of oil resources, and so on. So by the car transport, there is saying about the cost of it, and about all of this pollution, all of this issue which they are facing with car transportation. So it's not related to our text, and then we go further. Text F. Technical solutions can reduce the pollution problem and increase the fuel efficiency of engines, but fuel consumption and exhaust emissions depend on which cars are preferred by customers and how they are driven. So they were saying about the problems caused by fuel efficiency of engines. So it depends on which cars they are driving. So they were saying this impact all of these problems. So we found here our keyword is which is problem. So they were saying about this problem caused by increase fuel efficiency of engines. So answer to question number 15 is gonna be F. I'm gonna put it this way, and then we'll go further to question number 16. So the relative merits of cars in the public transport. Our keyword is gonna be about cars and public transport, our main keywords. So as you guys remember here in this paragraph E, we had an information about car transport, and you can just read one more time. A 1993 study by European Federation for Transport and European Environment found that car transport is 7 times as costly as rail travel in terms of the external social costs. It entails congestion, accidents, pollution, loss of cropland and natural habits, the depletion of oil resources, and so on. So they were saying this comparison between rail travel and car transportation, so which caused pollution, all of these impacts. So this answer to the question number 16 is gonna be E. And then we go further to question number 17. So the writer's prediction on future solutions. So basically his opinion. I'm just gonna highlight this writer's prediction. So we have to be very careful at times to find any information where he says about his opinion regarding the problem. So we go further on G. Some argue that the only long-term solution is to design cities and neighborhoods so that car journeys are not necessary, all essential services being located within walking distance or easily accessible by public transport. So not only would this save energy and carbon dioxide emissions, it would also enhance the quality of community life, putting the emphasis on people instead of cars. They're saying about cities. So about the distances in order to achieve so they can be achieved by public transport. So about emissions. So all of this stuff, but not related to the writer's opinion. We'll go further to paragraph H. A more likely scenario seems to be a combination of mass transit system for travel into and around cities, with small low-emission cars for urban use and larger hybrid or lean burn cars for use elsewhere. Electronically tolled highways might be used to ensure that drivers pay charges due to actual use. So say here we have a keyword. It seems a more likely scenario seems to be a combination of mass transit system for traveling to around the cities with low emission cars. So he was saying about his own opinion regarding the situation. So our answer to question number 17 is going to be H. We go further to question number 18. It's increasing use of motor vehicles. So I'm going to highlight the word motor vehicles. I don't remember so where exactly, but it was mentioned somewhere, and I even highlighted that motor vehicles. So here I was saying about motor vehicles as well on paragraph C and on paragraph A. Let's read both of them and make a decision, which is one is going to be an answer. So there are now over 700 million motor vehicles in the world, and the number is rising by more than 14 million each year. The average distance driven by car users is growing too, from 8 kilometers a day per person in Western Europe in 1965 to 25 kilometers a day in 1995. So it's they were saying about increasing of it. So rising or increasing, I'm gonna highlight it. So it's more like our answer, but let's read the question, the text number C. Until 100 years ago, most journalists were in. Okay, there was a comparison. If you guys remember, they were saying about the past and the present, which was our first answer. So question number 18 is going to be A, because they were saying about increasing, or how to say rising of use of motor vehicles. So question number 19, the impact of the car on city development. So I'm going to highlight the word car and the city. So as you guys remember, we had somewhere some information related to the cities, and as you can see in the text D, they were saying in Europe most cities are still designed for the old motor transport. They were saying about cities. So adaptation to the motor car has involved adding ring roads, one-way system, and the parking lots. So the impact of car on city development. So because of this car transport, they added ring roads and one-way systems, and they added parking lots. All of this basically impact on city development. They had to be able to park these cars and to provide appropriate roads for that, for using that vehicle type within that cities. So I'm gonna put the answer. It's gonna be so D. So as you guys can see, it's not that hard, so you can just highlight your main keywords and read your first and second sentences. If you are not sure, if you're not getting what exactly this text provides, you can just read the last sentence and to be sure that you have a right answer. So if you can find the answer to your 14th question, go to 15th question. Do not waste your time. When you find, let's say you have 6 questions, when you find 5 answers from 6 questions, you're gonna have less options, or at least you're gonna have in case you can use more than once, at least you have all information related to the text and you can analyze it and choose a proper answer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Have a good day. Please do not forget to subscribe to my channel. So good luck with your IELTS exam. Bye.